Hey, I am Marcia Amari, and today I'm going to be doing my January wrap-up. I read a total of 16 books in January, which I am quite proud of, but I did not stick to my TBR at all. I realized that I suck at sticking to my TBR. If I say that I'm going to read a book, I most definitely won't. I started out the month by reading Pawn by Amy Carter. Pawn reminded me a lot of The Selection without the prince and without the girliness. This book is basically, it feels like a military book. I gave it a 4 stars. The world was interesting. I'm not sure if I liked it enough to continue on in the story, in the series, but I think I will just because I'm curious. If you like a lot of romance, this book is not for you. It was definitely lacking in the romance department. But the way that they do like the classes of people is basically the same as The Selection. Everyone is a number, basically. And basically, the girl in this book has a chance to become royalty. So she takes it, even though she doesn't know what all it entails. And it's pretty crazy, but I love the cover, especially underneath the dust jacket. Like, it's awesome. And once you read the book, you'll understand how important the face is. The next book that I read was a new adult book, My Favorite Mistake by Chelsea M. Cameron. Again, the cover, disgusting. Ugh. Like, I've had enough, like, shirtless guys and half-naked girls. It's just, nah. But I do love the pink. This book was very good. I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Mostly, I didn't give it a 5 stars because it is very predictable. I mean, you can guess all of the plot twists when you are reading, but that's what makes it so great. It's just your average contemporary romance book, and I loved it, so I gave it 4 stars. And next, I read Hallowed by Cynthia Hand. This is the second book in the Unearthly trilogy. I loved this book much better than the first. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. I immediately went from this book to book 3, Boundless. I didn't like Boundless at all. Like, it just lacked so much, and like there was no epic battle, and I like, you know, when there's love triangles, you pick a team, and I always pick the right team. Always. Not in this book. So I did not like who she ended up with, and that kind of ruined the whole story for me. So I kind of wish I wouldn't have read this book. So I didn't like this book. I sort of got in a mini reading slump, so I started reading more new adult books for a little while. For some reason, when I read like a contemporary book, it helps get me out of my slump. And so I read Lucky Number 4 by Amanda Jason. Amanda Jason this is her debut novel, but I've met her before, and she is such a sweet lady. And I got this book simply because she's awesome. And I actually ended up loving it. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. When you go into this, don't expect it to be realistic. It almost has like a supernatural feel to it, even though it's not supernatural. But I mean, the things that happen in this book, you know, could never happen in real life. And I think that was what made the book great. It's so unique. I definitely recommend it. So if you haven't read it yet, you should go check it out. And then I was browsing the new adult section on Amazon, or maybe it was my recommendations. I don't remember. But I bought this book. It was only 99 cents. Tears of Tess by Pepper Winters. I thought it was going to be new adult, and it wasn't. I started reading the book, and like, I couldn't stop because I wanted to know what happened, but it's not my genre. I think it's a little too racy for me. I did not give it a rating, but if you enjoy more adult-ish kind of stuff, then you should definitely check this out. The writing style was great. The story was great. I just didn't like the 50 Shades of Grey taste that this had to it. Well, okay, it's much better written than 50 Shades of Grey though, so yeah. Tears of Tess, it was okay. And so I asked on my Facebook page for a recommendation for a new adult book because, I don't know, I always want to find like new authors and I want to expand who I read. So I bought Rebel by Elle Casey. This book was very good. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely loved the story. I liked the romance so much that I picked up the second book in the series. Hellion. I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars. I didn't enjoy it as much as the first one. The main character in this book annoyed me. Like, they were all just so dramatic. And it's like, we fight, break up, get back together. Fight, break up, get back together. I felt like I was listening to a Taylor Swift song. It was a good book though. So if you're looking for a new adult series to read, I recommend this one. The third book just came out. After that, I read one of the best books that I have ever read in my whole entire life, and that was When It Rains by Lisa D. Jong. This book is friggin' heartbreaking. I was bawling my eyes out for the last 50% of this book, and I loved it so much. As soon as I finished reading it, like, I lent it to my best friend so she could read it so we could cry together. Like, it is so good. You will not regret reading this book. This is definitely going to be one of my favorites of 2014. When you read it, be prepared to cry. It's just, it's freaking heartbreaking. And like, you do not see the plot twist coming at all. I didn't. And the whole time I was thinking, okay, this guy's going to be a bad boy. Yeah, I had everything wrong. And this book is just so many emotions. So many. And I don't even have words to describe how I feel. I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars, of course. If you haven't read this book, just seriously check it out. It's When It Rains by Lisa D. Jong. Amazing book. You will not regret it. The next book that I picked up, I got it simply because of the ratings. It has amazing ratings. And that is Lick by Kylie Scott. I hate the cover. I don't know. What is up with all the tattooed shirtless guys? It's annoying. But I do like his guitar. My guitar is just like it, except mine is like orange in the middle. So it's like a cherry burst. Anyway, why are we talking about this? Sorry, I got sidetracked. This book was amazing. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. It's hilarious. It picked me right up because after I read When It Rains, I needed something to make me laugh. I laughed so hard through this book. This book is about a girl who goes to Vegas for her birthday, and she gets drunk, and she wakes up married to a rock star. Just that premise alone. Yeah. So go read this book if you haven't yet. It's hilarious. I think that if you have not read anything in the new adult genre before, this is a good place to start. The next book that I read was a reread for me. It was one of my favorite books that I read in 2013, Bully by Penelope Douglas. This is a great book. Again, if you haven't read the new adult genre, this is also a good place to start. It's actually set in high school, so I'm not sure if it's considered new adult, but it is labeled new adult on Amazon. So, I mean, it definitely doesn't have like the normal high school vibe. It's a pretty mature book. It's really hard to describe this book without spoiling it for you. It has a pretty like twisty plot line, so I don't want to tell you too much. It's a romance, and it's about a guy who picks on a girl. He bullies her, and it's their love story basically. So check this one out. 5 out of 5 stars, of course. And then I read Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. What to say about this book? First of all, why did I wait so long to read this book? If I could go back in time, I would tell past me, read this book. Because I remember when it came out, and I thought it had a stupid cover, and the title was stupid. I mean, I really like the cover change that they have done to the series. I just was like, oh, that's a stupid cover. It's a stupid name. I'm not reading that. Yeah, okay, smack past self. This book is one of those books that makes you believe in true love. It makes you believe that there can be a happy ever after. And it's so full of happiness, feels, it's good. If you haven't not read this book yet, you should. Yeah, I know, the title, it sounds like an erotic novel or, I don't know, something weird, but read this book. You will not regret it. It's so good. The next book that I read is How to Love by Katie Katuga. I gave this book a 3 out of 5 stars. It was good, but it wasn't great. The writing just didn't capture me. The writer kept going back and forth between then and now, and it was just very confusing. None of the pieces fit together, and I never really saw how the then and now added to the story at all. It was a very great idea, but it could have been executed a lot better. If you want to read this book, I would wait till the paperback comes out so it's cheaper. The next book was another reread for me. The final book in this trilogy came out this month, so I wanted to reread it to refresh my mind on what happened, and that is Under the Never Sky by Veronica Rossi. I really enjoyed this book. The first time I didn't enjoy it as much. I think this time I rated it a 4.5 out of 5 stars, and originally I had rated it a 3 out of 5 stars, so I definitely enjoyed it better the second time. I have book 2, but I haven't read it yet. I planned on picking it up as soon as I finish this book, but I don't know. I didn't feel compelled to. Maybe I'll read it in February. Who knows? But yeah, so this was a great book. After that, I picked up a new release, and that is Under Different Stars by Amy Bartle. I love Amy Bartle. I have her Inescapable. I love that series. I think it's called the Premonition series. But this book, oh my gosh, I don't even know how to describe how I feel about this book. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. It is just so beautifully written. The story just captures you from page 1. And the world that Amy created in this book is just breathtakingly beautiful. And I want to see this in a movie. It's just beautiful. Like, I can picture everything so vividly in my head. And so if you haven't read anything by Amy Bartle, I would recommend starting with this book. This is great. Even though I love her Premonition series too. This one is it's a lot different. It's more of a sci-fi feel instead of that paranormal romance feel. The romance in the story is great. I'm hoping that there's not, there wasn't a love triangle, but everyone knows Amy. And the Premonition series, there's definitely a triangle going on in there. So I hope this book does not get a love triangle, because I love the romance. It's so perfect. So I definitely recommend everyone picking up this book. And last, I read Amplified by Tara Kelly. This was an enjoyable read. It was cute and fluffy, but it was predictable. There was one thing that really annoyed me. Is the reason, I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars. The reason that I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars is because the main character is so self-conscious. She just has no confidence at all in herself, and that just really annoys me in a main character. The plotline was very predictable. I saw everything coming. I mean, I'll probably read the next book in the series whenever it comes out. This book has been out since 2011, and the sequel is still not out. I want to read it to find out what happens, but I don't know. I'll probably forget about the book before the sequel comes out. It's just forgettable, you know? And right now I am reading Winger by Andrew Smith. I'm not very far in, 30 pages, but I am loving this book so far. The character, he is so freaking hilarious. I love this kid. He's awesome. I think I'm going to do a review on this book. I like it enough already that I want to do a video talk about it. But yeah, I probably won't finish out this book in January, so it'll definitely be finished in February. The thing that I love about this book is there's illustrations. The kid in the book, he's 14 and he is a junior in high school, so he's really smart. But he's in trouble because he hacked into his teacher's cell phone account and made it so he could make untraceable calls from it. This is crazy. So yeah, but the pictures are the illustrations are great. They just add so much to the story. It feels like you're really getting inside his mind during those illustrations. So yeah, that was my January wrap up. I'm probably not going to be doing a February TBR because I suck at sticking to a set reading list. So I'm not even going to do it because I know whatever book is on that list, I won't read, which is sad. But I do plan on finishing the Shatter Me series. Ignite Me is coming out in February, not this month, in February. Might be this month when you're watching this, who knows. But I am so excited about that book. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you next time. Bye!